Exiled by the Galactic Council, how the human empire rose to cosmic supremacy. It was a cathedral of alien architecture, vast and cold, its walls made of shimmering alloys that seemed to ripple like liquid under the pale light. Delegates from hundreds of species filled the hall, their forms strange and varied, tentacles, scales, wings, and shapes humans had no names for. Every corner buzzed with alien voices, speaking in harmonics, clicks, and pulses. The humans were late. Lieutenant Commander Elias Hart of the United Earth Council stepped onto the polished floor, trying not to let his nerves show. The humans were not welcome here. No species had taken humanity seriously before. They were small, unproven, messy. They were unpredictable. And that was exactly why the Council wanted to exile them. Humans, a voice echoed through the chamber. The speaker's form shifted, changing colors in the light. High Chancellor Velkari of the Synthari Council towered over everyone, his 6 eyes cold and calculating. Your presence in the galaxy is problematic. Your rapid colonization, your interference with trade routes, your reckless use of technology, it cannot continue. Hart swallowed hard. He had rehearsed his words 100 times. Humans were clever, persistent, resilient, but they were still new to galactic politics. We only want to live, he said clearly. We only want a place for our people. Velkari's gaze sharpened. You call yourselves humans, yet you act like a virus. You expand, consume, and disrupt without consideration. The Council has decided, effective immediately, all human colonies will be exiled from every known trade route and interstellar alliance. You are to remain confined to your home system unless specifically invited. Any violation will be met with force. Murmurs spread through the hall. Some delegates nodded with relief, thinking the matter closed. Others whispered fearfully. A few species had secretly watched humans and worried about what they could become if underestimated. Hart's hands tightened into fists. Exile was meant to humiliate and weaken them, but he saw opportunity instead. We will comply, he said aloud, voice steady. But know this, humans do not break easily. The council members blinked in surprise. Most species, when threatened, either cowered or negotiated endlessly. Humans simply acknowledged the threat and moved forward. It was a small thing, but it marked them as different. Back on Earth, the news hit the population like a tidal wave. Across continents, humans gathered around comlinks and news feeds, watching the Council's decision scroll across the holographic displays. There was anger, yes, but there was also resolve. On the planet's surface, Elia's Hart joined other leaders in the Human Command Center. The facility sprawled underground beneath the remnants of old New York, a place built during Earth's last century of wars and recovery. Screens displayed star charts, abandoned colonies, and reports of alien fleets. Admiral Sarah Tan, a veteran of several off-world missions, tapped her fingers on a console. Exiled, they think that's enough to stop us. Do they even know what humans can do when cornered? Hart smiled faintly. No, they only see weakness. They only see what they want. That's our advantage. And indeed, humans had learned to survive in ways no alien species would consider. Harsh worlds, unpredictable climates, scarcity of resources, it had made them strong. On Earth, deserts, oceans, frozen tundras, and storms had always demanded adaptability. In space, that same adaptability would become a weapon. Within weeks, human colonies in the farthest corners of the galaxy began reorganizing. They quietly consolidated resources, repaired damaged ships, and trained crews for missions no one outside humanity understood. On the icy world of Nova Glacia, for instance, settlers turned frozen caverns into massive factories powered by geothermal vents. On the desert planet Iridian, engineers built water collectors so efficient that crops grew where none had before. Even the smallest human outposts began producing starships, drones, and automated factories. The aliens, meanwhile, watched in confusion. They obeyed the council's exile, said a Syrian officer. And yet, their activity increases in forbidden sectors. How is this possible? They're humans, another replied. They always find a way. Months later, Hart oversaw the first test of a human expeditionary fleet. It was small, intentionally modest. 7 ships, each piloted by seasoned crews, slipped silently through space lanes that the Council had declared off-limits. The ships were nothing like alien fleets. They were patchwork machines of reclaimed metals, solar arrays, and hybrid engines. But they were fast, flexible, and, most importantly, human. Every crew member was trained to think creatively, to adapt, to turn mistakes into advantages. Captain Lena Rojas, commanding the lead ship Indomitable, gave the order to launch. "Remember," she said to her crew, "we are the humans the galaxy underestimates. Let's give them a show they'll never forget." As the fleet left orbit, Hart stood in the observation room, watching the stars streak past. "They think we are weak," he murmured. "They have no idea." And they didn't. The first encounter came sooner than expected. A small recon fleet of Council ships detected the human vessels near the outer asteroid belt of the Phaedrus system. Their sensors pinged, and a warning message went straight to the Council. "Unidentified human activity," the message said. "They are violating the exile. Dispatch a strike team." The aliens expected confusion, hesitation, or retreat. What they received instead was a calculated maneuver. Using the belt's asteroids for cover, the humans slipped past patrols and set up defensive positions. When the alien strike team arrived, they found empty space. The humans had anticipated their moves. Captain Rojas laughed softly as the alien ships disappeared from sensors. "They never learn," she said, "and neither do we except we adapt." It was a small victory, but symbolically enormous. The Council had declared humanity weak, expecting compliance. Humans had ignored the command and acted boldly. Already whispers of admiration and concern began circulating among the less hostile alien factions. On Earth, leaders convened a strategic council. "We cannot fight them all at once," said Hart. "But we don't need to. Humans don't fight like them. We fight smart." Admiral Tan nodded. "Every challenge they throw at us is a test we've already prepared for, and every test makes us stronger." Plans were drawn. New colonies, hidden from alien eyes, would serve as industrial hubs. Fleets would be trained to think in unconventional ways. Humans would turn exile into opportunity, learning and growing while the aliens underestimated them. Meanwhile, the Council continued their deliberations. Velkari frowned at reports showing human activity. "This is unexpected," he admitted. "They are obeying the letter of exile but not the spirit. Their actions are deliberate, calculated. It is as if they planned something." On a remote human colony, a young engineer named Miko Tan worked late into the night. Sparks flew from a plasma welder as she modified an old transport ship. "They think we are slow," she muttered. "They think we are weak. We'll show them." Across the galaxy, similar scenes played out. Humans, young and old, male and female, engineers, pilots, soldiers, and scientists, were quietly preparing for a future no alien dared to imagine. It was not aggression, not yet. It was survival, ingenuity, and determination. Every new device, every new ship, every calculated maneuver was a step toward proving that humans were not just another species in the galaxy. They were something else entirely. Something resilient, adaptable, and unstoppable. By the end of the first year of exile, humans had established a hidden network of colonies and fleets, all operating independently yet connected through secure communication channels. The galaxy had written them off as insignificant, but the humans were already writing their own story, a story that would soon challenge every alien assumption. Hart stood once more in the command center on Earth, looking at the map of human expansion. "They exiled us," he said quietly, "but they have only made us stronger. And with that, humanity began its rise, silent, clever, and unstoppable. The Galactic Council thought it had won, but in truth, the game had only just begun. The first chapter of human defiance was complete. The galaxy had seen a species meant to be contained. Instead, it had seen humans begin to rise. The Council thought they had confined humanity, but the humans did not see it that way. In the darkness between stars, hidden from alien sensors, human colonies thrived. On planets stripped bare by harsh climates, humans built cities that glimmered like jewels against frozen plains or scorched deserts. They mined asteroids, built factories inside hollowed moons, and trained fleets of ships with crews that had never seen a defeat they could not adapt to. Elia's heart walked through the command center on Earth, his eyes scanning reports from across human space. Each report told the same story. Humans were growing stronger, smarter, and faster than anyone predicted. "Look at this," he said, pointing to a holographic map. Colored dots representing human colonies had begun to multiply in previously empty sectors. The Council believes these systems are uninhabited. They are wrong. Admiral Sarah Tan stood beside him, arms crossed. They don't know we're building fleets capable of striking anywhere in the galaxy. They don't know we've made mistakes into lessons. They think we're slow. They don't understand humans. And that was the point. Humans thrived on underestimation. Every alien species that had dismissed them, every delegate who thought humans weak or primitive, was being proven wrong step by careful step. On the mining planet of Vorath, engineers worked in near silence. Massive drills bored through the red rock while automated drones carried refined metals to hidden assembly plants. Among the workers, Captain Lena Rojas supervised a small fleet of ships under construction. "These ships aren't just for transport," she told her team. "They can fight, they can hide, they can repair themselves, and most importantly, they can think differently than any alien fleet." One engineer, a young woman named Makeo, looked skeptical. "But we're small. These alien fleets are huge. How can we compete?" Rojas smiled. "We don't compete like them, we outsmart them. We don't attack when they expect it, we attack when they least expect it." And humans were good at it. The first real test came sooner than expected. A scout team of the Council, sent to monitor forbidden sectors, approached Vorath. Their sensors detected unusual activity, a shipyard, hidden colonies, strange energy readings. The Council assumed the humans would flee. Instead, the humans prepared an ambush. The alien ships approached cautiously, but the human engineers had laid the groundwork. Magnetic mines, cloaked decoy drones, and sensor jammers were all in place. The first alien vessel hit a mine and shuddered violently. The second was misled by drones, chasing illusions across empty space. By the time the Council realized the trap, the human ships had already retreated into asteroid fields. On Earth, Hart received the news. "They walked right into our defenses," he said, unable to hide a small smile, "and they still don't know what hit them." Even the Council could not ignore the reports. "Humans are no longer the weak species we assumed," Velkari admitted reluctantly. "They are efficient. They plan. They adapt." Meanwhile, humans were growing in other ways too. On frozen Nova Glacia, scientists discovered a naturally occurring mineral that could power ships at far greater efficiency than conventional fuel. On the desert world of Aridian, engineers developed self-replicating drones capable of building entire outposts with minimal human supervision. These advancements were small individually, but together they created a human empire invisible to the rest of the galaxy, rising while everyone looked away. Elia's heart convened a council of human leaders on Earth. "We are not just surviving," he said. "We are preparing for the moment the galaxy realizes we are unstoppable. Every colony, every ship, every invention must bring us closer to that day." A quiet determination filled the room. Humans did not just think in terms of battles or wars. They thought in terms of survival, adaptation, and evolution. Every setback, every challenge, was a chance to grow stronger. The first major confrontation came in the Corin sector. A small council fleet, 10 ships strong, attempted to blockade a newly discovered human colony. The council assumed the humans would surrender quickly. After all, the humans were small in number and technologically inferior, or so they believed. Captain Rojas and her fleet of 7 ships were waiting. Using the asteroid belt as cover, the humans deployed decoys to scatter the alien fleet. Then they struck from unexpected angles. One of the alien ships collided with a decoy and was severely damaged. Another tried to escape but found its path blocked by human interceptors. In the end, the humans did not destroy the fleet entirely. That was not their style. Instead, they forced the aliens to retreat and, more importantly, sent a message. Humans would not be controlled, they would not be ignored, and they could turn the galaxy's assumptions upside down. Back on Earth, Hart watched the battle replay on the main hollow screen. "Notice something?" he asked his officers. "They didn't expect us to fight smart. They thought numbers and size mattered most. We proved them wrong." Admiral Tan grinned. "They will talk about this for decades." Across human space, the story was similar. Small teams achieved what aliens thought impossible. On the industrial moon of Draker, a human team captured a council supply station and repurposed it to produce ships for hidden colonies. On the ice planet of Cryovale, humans developed cloaking systems that rendered entire fleets invisible to alien sensors. Every victory reinforced a simple truth: humans thrived where others failed. It was not brute strength that made them dangerous. It was ingenuity, teamwork, and the ability to see possibilities no one else could imagine. And still, the Council underestimated them. Reports of human activity arrived sporadically, dismissed by most as exaggeration. Only a few species began whispering warnings. The humans were growing, quietly, efficiently, and too fast to be contained. Even as humans grew stronger, they retained a sense of discipline and moral code. Unlike many alien species, humans did not destroy for sport or personal gain. When they captured alien outposts, civilians were protected, supplies were shared, and communication channels remained open. This earned them a strange kind of respect from some species, though it was tempered by fear. Elia's Hart noted this in a briefing. "We are showing the galaxy a different kind of power. We can win, yes, but we can also lead." That combination terrifies those who expect only violence. Captain Rojas prepared her fleet for the next mission, a raid on a council research facility rumored to be experimenting with weapons that could track human fleets across forbidden sectors. The humans approached quietly, using newly developed cloaking technology. They moved like shadows across the galaxy, striking with precision and disappearing before the aliens could respond. The raid was a success. No human lives were lost. The Council's research facility was captured and reprogrammed to produce resources for hidden human colonies. The aliens were baffled. How could such a small, exiled species achieve so much? Even within human ranks, the speed of growth was staggering. Young engineers who barely remembered Earth were already building ships that surpassed older alien designs. Pilots who had trained in virtual simulations now commanded real fleets with flawless coordination. Scientists discovered materials and energy sources that the Council had long ignored, dismissing them as insignificant. Every human colony became a node in a growing network, connected through encrypted communication channels. Lessons learned on one planet were shared instantly with every other colony. When one fleet developed a new tactic, all fleets adopted it. Adaptation became a force multiplier that aliens could not predict or counter. Elia's Hart reflected on this. "Humans are not just fighting the Council," he said quietly. "We are becoming something greater, something they cannot contain." The Council convened again, this time in panic. Reports of human victories and technological advances were flooding in. Velkari's eyes narrowed as he addressed the assembly. They are violating exile at every opportunity. Every colony, every fleet, every outpost, they grow stronger. They do not retreat, they do not negotiate, they do not surrender. This is beyond prediction. A junior delegate whispered, "They are dangerous, too dangerous." Velkari's gaze hardened. "Yes, and they will only get stronger. If we do not act soon, we may face a force we cannot stop." But it was too late. The humans were already several steps ahead. They had anticipated such fear and used it to guide their growth. Every failed attack by aliens became a lesson. Every underestimation became an opportunity. On a remote desert world, Hart stood on a cliff, watching the twin suns set over a city built from nothing. Children played in the streets, ships lifted off silently into the sky, and engineers worked tirelessly. "This," Hart said, breathing in the dry air, "is what exile cannot destroy. Humanity thrives where others see only obstacles. The galaxy underestimated us, and that will be their mistake." And indeed, humans continued to grow. Hidden fleets moved across the stars. Colonies expanded into forbidden sectors. Scientists discovered energy sources that dwarfed anything the Council could imagine. Engineers built fleets capable of both offense and defense, and humans trained crews to think creatively, to adapt, and to outmaneuver any enemy. The hidden rise of humanity was no accident. It was calculated, relentless, and unstoppable. By the time the Council realized what was happening, humans would already be ready for the next step, the step that would bring them into open confrontation and inevitable supremacy. For now, the galaxy watched unknowingly as humans, exiled and underestimated, quietly became the species no one would dare ignore. The galaxy had changed. The whispers about humans that once filled the council chambers with doubt and laughter had become urgent warnings. Reports streamed in constantly. Hidden human fleets emerging from forbidden sectors, planets once abandoned now humming with production, and colonies so well defended that even the largest council fleets hesitated to strike. Elia's heart stood in the command center on Earth, staring at the galactic map. Colored dots representing human colonies had spread like fire through the stars. "This is it," he said softly, "the moment we've been preparing for. The galaxy is about to see what humans can do." Admiral Sarah Tan nodded beside him. "The Council thought exile would stop us. They thought we were small, weak, and slow. They didn't know humans survive by adapting and they thrive by thinking differently." Hart turned to the fleet commanders. "We move tonight." Not in anger, but in demonstration. Every species must understand that humanity is no longer exiled. We are sovereign. We are the human empire, and we will be recognized. The first step was precise. A human fleet, 70 ships strong, approached the Council's outermost station, a massive orbital fortress that controlled trade and communications in a critical sector. Alien sensors detected them immediately, and alarms blared throughout the station. High Chancellor Velkari watched the displays with growing anxiety. "Humans, they move faster than anticipated," he muttered. "Prepare defensive fleets, deploy countermeasures." The humans, however, did not approach as conquerors in the traditional sense. Their fleet was divided into multiple waves, each executing maneuvers no alien strategist could predict. Cloaked ships moved unseen through asteroid belts, decoy drones scattered in hundreds of directions, and fleets synchronized attacks using intelligence networks no council species had anticipated. Captain Lena Rojas, commanding the lead ship Indomitable, gave the order: "Deploy drones, activate cloaks, engage only if necessary. Let them see us but not all of us." The council fleet struck blindly, hitting empty space and decoy formations. By the time they realized the human strategy, several critical stations were already under human control. The battle ended without mass casualties. human precision and planning ensured minimal loss of life. The message was clear. Human supremacy was not achieved through violence alone, but through intelligence, coordination, and innovation. In the council chambers, panic spread. Velkari slammed his clawed hand against the console. This is impossible. How can such a small species move with this precision? How can they hold every position simultaneously? A Syrian delegate, usually calm and calculating, whispered, "They plan for everything we did not even imagine. They are superior." Velkari's 6 eyes narrowed. "No. They are human, and humans are unpredictable." That unpredictability had become humanity's greatest weapon. Across the galaxy, humans demonstrated the ability to adapt in real time. Fleets repaired themselves mid-battle. Colonies shifted production to meet new demands instantly. And strategists coordinated attacks and defenses faster than any alien species could track. Every mistake the Council made was a lesson for the humans. Every underestimation was a tool. But cosmic supremacy was not achieved by military victories alone. Humans understood diplomacy, trade, and leadership. In captured systems, human governors established councils where alien species could participate fairly. Resources were shared to rebuild what had been destroyed, and trade routes were reopened under human protection. For the first time, many species saw humans not only as a threat, but as leaders worthy of respect. The combination of power and fairness left even skeptical delegates in awe. Elia's heart addressed his officers. "We are not here to conquer the galaxy through fear. We are here to show that humans can lead, guide, and protect. Strength without honor is meaningless. The galaxy will learn that we are both strong and principled." Admiral Tan smiled. "And that terrifies them even more." The final confrontation came at the heart of the Galactic Council's power. The central nexus of governance, a massive orbital city that housed every species, representatives, and the Council's fleet command. Intelligence reports indicated that the Council had amassed over 200 ships, the largest concentration of power in the galaxy's history. Human fleets, now numbering over 100 vessels of various designs, approached from multiple vectors. Cloaked ships surrounded the outer perimeter, decoy fleets scattered in every direction, and communication channels were flooded with misinformation. Every move had been planned for months, every calculation precise. As the humans arrived, the Council scrambled to coordinate defense. Velkari's voice boomed through the chamber. "We must destroy them before they reach the core. Do not allow humans to control the Nexus." Hart's voice echoed over secure channels to his fleet. "Remember, the goal is supremacy, not annihilation. Show them what humans can do. Let them understand that we are the new center of power in the galaxy." The engagement was intense but controlled. Human strategy combined speed, deception, and precision attacks. Council ships found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. Systems designed to isolate human fleets failed to detect multiple waves approaching simultaneously. When key stations were captured, humans used them to broadcast clear messages to the galaxy. The era of human exile was over. The human empire had begun. Captain Rojas maneuvered indomitable alongside the Central Council communications tower. "Prepare broadcast," she said. "We are sending one message to every species. Humanity is here. We are not your subjects. We are equals, and we will protect the galaxy on our terms." The message went live across every known channel. For the first time, the galaxy heard the human voice, calm yet authoritative, declaring their rise. Across countless planets, aliens paused in disbelief. The species they had underestimated for centuries had achieved the impossible. Velkari, standing in the heart of the council chamber, realized the truth. Humans were no longer a minor species. They were not merely surviving, they were dominant. His voice was quiet now, tinged with respect and fear. "They are extraordinary. We cannot defeat them, not as we are, and perhaps we should not try." Some delegates whispered agreement, others protest. But the pattern was clear. Humans had combined cunning, adaptability, morality, and strength in ways no species had thought possible. To oppose them directly would invite disaster. In the days following, the humans consolidated their control. Strategic planets were secured, trade routes reopened under human management, and colonies previously thought isolated became integral parts of a coordinated network. Every victory reinforced the message. Humans could be powerful and fair, unstoppable and honorable. On Earth, Hart addressed the Council of Human Leaders. We have risen from exile to supremacy not because we sought revenge, but because we refused to be limited. We have shown the galaxy that humans adapt, survive, and thrive. Our next steps are not only expansion, but leadership, guiding the galaxy toward cooperation, innovation, and peace. Admiral Tan added, and every species that doubted us now understands that humans are a force to be respected, not ignored. The final HFY moment came when the Council, humbled and cautious, invited human representatives to participate formally in governance. Velkari himself extended the offer. Humans, he said, your actions have proven that exile could not contain you. You have earned a place not only at this table but at the center of galactic leadership. The Council acknowledges your supremacy. Hart smiled. We did not seek permission. We did what was necessary, but we accept this opportunity not for domination but for the good of the galaxy. Across countless worlds, humans celebrated, not in violence but in achievement. Children born on distant colonies cheered in streets lit by twin suns. Engineers watched ships launch into the stars, ready to explore and protect. Scientists celebrated discoveries that would transform life across planets. Every human, from Earth to the farthest outpost, knew they had risen together as one species. The galaxy had underestimated them once, never again. By the end of the year, humanity was no longer exiled. Their fleets patrolled the galaxy, their colonies thrived, and their influence spread across countless star systems. Aliens spoke of humans with caution and respect, aware that every encounter with humanity was unpredictable and potentially transformative. Elia's heart stood on the observation deck of the flagship Indomitable, looking out at the stars. We were exiled, he said. They tried to limit us, to contain us, to ignore us. But humans do not bow, we do not break, and we do not surrender. We rise. Admiral Tan placed a hand on his shoulder. And now, the galaxy will see exactly what that means. The twin suns of Earth set, casting light across a planet that had grown into a symbol of resilience, innovation, and unstoppable determination. From the first exile to the center of power, humanity had proven itself, not by domination alone, but by being clever, adaptable, and honorable. And as humans looked to the stars, one truth was clear. The human empire was only beginning. The galaxy would never be the same.